What's going on, guys? It is somehow already week 4 of Chasing Augusta. This week's gonna be about the equipment, the use case, how I'm using everything from my swim tools that I've just started to get acclimated to, that I had to buy for the first time 4 weeks ago, to the bike, which is obviously relatively new as well, to all the accessories that I put on the bike that I use both on the trainer and on the road. And then when it comes to the running, you guys know a lot of that, but there's a lot of nuances that are my favorites, such as shoes, hats, gear, shorts, all the things that make training, 1, more fun, more enjoyable, 2, more functional, and also 3, that look good. So it's actually Tuesday. Yesterday I got a swim in and I got a strength session in. Today I have a VO2 max circuit on the bike, followed by a quick 20 or 25 minute run off the bike. So I'm gonna get into that right now, and then we'll start to break down piece by piece the equipment that makes Ironman Augusta 70.3 go. All right, last 3 intervals right here. Last one. Since we started with a killer bike session today, we'll start with the noble steed herself, a Canyon Air Road. I wanted a bike that was primarily a road bike, but could also double as a triathlon bike if I wanted to put some aero bars on it. I'm gonna buy the Canyon Gear Groove aero bars. Currently out of stock, but I'm gonna get them as soon as they're in stock, which they should before my race. So, in order to ride this puppy indoors, we have a couple things that we need. So first things first, for the indoor ride is my trainer. This is a Wahoo Kicker V6, and I also have the Zwift cog on here. And basically all that is instead of a cassette here, like you would normally have, basically it replaces that. So it's just one gear and you don't have to worry about shifting gears on the bike while you're riding virtually. So that connects to these, which are the controllers, and this is what connects to Zwift, which we then put on the computer on the table here. Speaking of the table, this is a Wahoo riding desk, just somewhere to put your technology or your computer screen while you're riding. I love this thing. It's also got a nice little extension on the side where you can put your wheel when you disconnect it from the back. Continuing with the Wahoo ecosystem, we have the Wahoo training mat on the floor here, just to keep everything clean and in one place. And then I also have the Wahoo headwind. This is the fan, and I have this connected to my app on my phone. And one of the really cool things about the headwind is I can connect it to either my heart rate data, or I can just manually adjust the fan. So as I'm working harder throughout the workout, the fan intensity increases. And that's really all you need to know about the trainer setup and how to ride indoors. There's a lot more that goes into it on the technology side once you get into Zwift, or if you're using Ruby or anything like that. But that's all the hardware that you need in order to have a quality ride. Good morning, guys. It is Wednesday morning, 5:14. We got the garage popped and we're about to rip a little interval workout on the tread. My wife is going to burn boot camp this morning, so I'm dialing it up for the tread. I actually prefer my speed workouts on the treadmill because there's no justification for hitting anything other than the pace that you have planned and staying in that range. If you can't stay in that range, you're just not fit enough and you need to go back to the drawing board. We're about to do a couple 800s, couple 400s, finish with some 200s, work our way down, and then we'll get into the running segment of this video and the equipment and all the good stuff with that. Trying out the other new pair of shoes that I got last week from Brooks. These are the Hyperion Elite 6s. So very excited to break these in on the tread this morning for a little speed session. Let's get it.
That I stood on their back and I didn't make moves as mine. They told me that I shouldn't try, I retried, I came back with...
Welcome to where all the magic happens. No, not that kind of magic. We're gonna talk about the gear that makes the magic happen for a triathlon. Now, I am a longtime runner. You guys know this. I have been through a ton of running gear. Stuff that I love, stuff that I hate, and I have narrowed it down, okay? So right here, I have my favorite 3 pairs of shorts. My number one favorite pair is Wahoo 2-in-1s, okay? These are the 2-in-1s. This is actually from their new Chrome series. So as you can see, they got the shiny new logo on that one. Love to run in these. Love to lift in these. Love to do a little bit of everything in these. My go-tos. My other favorite running shorts are from LSKD. Not sure the exact model of these, but they got the little LSKD logo on the back there. They only have one pocket on the side, which is the only thing I don't like about these shorts. But I love, love, love getting miles in these shorts. And then we're gonna move over to the half tights. So these are the Wahoo Distance half tights. I've tried a ton of half tights, a ton of different companies. This is the Gotham edition. You can always tell what edition they are by the logo, whatever the logo is, and it's blacked out. These are my favorite half tights because of the pockets and the material. This material bends, but it does not break, meaning I have had some of these same pair of Wahoo half tights since I learned about Wahoo like 3 years ago. I still wear them. They're still in the rotation. I have the full tights, I have the half tights. I probably have 10 pairs of these. Love them. Always gonna do my speed work in there, always gonna do my long runs in there because whatever I want, I can keep in the pockets in these. So those are my favorite on the short side. Hold please. On the sock side, my go-to brand is Features. I love I think they're the performance socks. They're super thin. And I've also found I really like these on the bike as well. Because when you are sweating, the heavier ones are gonna get damp and they're gonna get a little bit soggy and you're gonna feel like you're in a swamp. Doesn't necessarily happen with these. So love these for, especially during the summer when you know you're gonna sweat a lot. We are going to continue the field trip back into the garage. You guys have been in here many, many times. And instead of going into an in-depth shoe review, let's just go over the core 3 to 4 in the rotation right now. So 2 are brand new that you guys saw last week. Number 1, the Brooks Ghost Amps. These are my new go-to everyday easy shoe. Loving these so far. I mix that in a rotation with these, which are the Nike Pegasus 19s. Let's say we're going some slight tempo work, nothing crazy on a speed workout, but we want to pick up the paces, whether that's for strides or something similar. I'm still rocking with these Hyperion Max 3s. These have a nylon plate, but much more forgiving than a carbon fiber plate. Other ones that I will pull for that are the Adidas Evo SLs. These do not have a plate. These are always a favorite of mine, and I kind of forgot about them, but I'm bringing them back recently. My favorite hybrid shoe right now is the Noble Drive 2. This is if I'm going to lift and then I'm also gonna run. Maybe I'm traveling to a gym to do that or a buddy's house or anything like that. And I just wanna take one pair of shoes. I would grab this right here. Easy miles, intermediate only, not going long in these. And then let's talk about the sexy, flashy shoes. These have been my go-tos for speed. All of these next 3 have carbon fiber plates in them. So these are the Brooks Hyperion Elite 5s. These have been my go-to speed shoe for the last about year now. Nike Vaporfly 3s, the Clydesdale Stompers, you know the drill with these. I brought these out in a video maybe last week or 2 weeks ago. They still fly, but I don't prefer them to the Brooks, I gotta be honest. And broke these in yesterday on the speed work, the Hyperion Elite 6s. Only on the tread so far, so still formulating my opinion. I definitely wanna take them out on the road. But these are my number ones, and these are probably gonna be what I race in September. Let's go ahead and keep the sexy vibes going and talk about the sunglasses collection. These are my favorites. These are the Roca Matador Airs. I got these, which are the all blacks. And then I also have a very similar version of these with the gold lenses. Same glasses, slightly different look. Those are my favorite 2, and then I have 2 other ones. These are Roca's. Strava sent me these, but these are more like casual Wayfarer style. Don't wear them very often. They're cool. And then my other favorites are, I call these the windshields because they're fucking massive and obnoxious, and sometimes that's exactly what you want on a run. These are Hoka's. I don't think you can get these. I think these were limited edition. I got these at a Hoka event that I ran in, but they are entirely too big, and I love that about them. Next up, we're talking headphones. These I've been rocking with for a couple years now. These are the AirPod Maxes. I usually use these for some of my bigger efforts. If you've seen me run hundreds, I tend to wear these because they help me just go to a different planet. I can lock in, I can focus. The music quality is phenomenal. A lot of people are like, don't you get hot? Don't they bother you? The answer is no. We have the classic AirPod Pros. They're fine, they get the job done. They do tend to fall out of my ears when I get really, really sweaty. And lastly, these I have been experimenting with quite a bit lately, and are actually my current favorites. These are the Shocks. I don't know the model number, don't ask me. These are my wife's. I like these, they don't get loud enough for me, I will say that. And I think that's kind of the point of Shocks, over-the-ear headphones, to keep you safe when you're running outdoors. The cool thing about that is I do wear them when I'm biking, and I don't have to worry about getting honked at or anything like that because I can still hear everything around me. The bad news is when I'm doing something like I'm in the pain cave on the treadmill or something like that, I can't crank it up as much as I might want to. These are an older version too, so hopefully Shocks will hit me up and send me a new version. Let's talk about heart rate monitors. This is the Coros armband heart rate monitor. I don't really ever use this. Wahoo chest strap heart rate monitor. I use this primarily when I'm on the Wahoo tread, just because I like to keep it in the ecosystem. This is my current favorite, the Heart Rate Monitor Pro 600, I believe, from Garmin. And I say it's my current favorite probably just because it's the only one with battery life at the moment. Last but not least, let's talk about my pride and joy. The gem of the gym, my baby girl, the Wahoo Kicker Run treadmill, greatest treadmill on the face of the planet. Now, there are 1,000,001 reasons why I love this treadmill, but let me just run through the highlights for you guys. Number one, first and foremost, is there are no restrictions as far as pace. It goes up to a 4-minute mile. I'm not touching that. I'm not coming close to a 4-minute mile. You guys have seen the closest I've gotten, which is like a 4:40, 200. So I don't have to worry about not being able to maximize what I can do and my ability based off the limitations of the treadmill. Number two, it's solid as a fucking rock. This thing is a spaceship. That's what I like to refer to it as, because as far as the base, the thing does not move. You can go as fast as you want to. It's not gonna move an inch. Number three would be the integration with the Wahoo app and all the other Wahoo sensors in the ecosystem. So I just talked about the Kicker Headwind. I just talked about the Wahoo heart rate monitor. And those two in tandem with the tread is a powerful combination. They're all speaking to each other. Everything runs through the Wahoo app, so I don't need to ever start my Garmin if I don't want to. My biggest issue with treadmills is that you don't know the distance you're going except by the treadmill data. Your watch is gonna be inaccurate, right? With the Wahoo app, it records my workout and then posts straight to Strava. So I don't have to worry about calibrating my watch, making sure I'm getting the mileage, or having to stop and start a run because I hit an hour on the treadmill or anything like that. There are no limitations. They thought of everything, especially for higher end runners that want to run farther or want to run faster. This treadmill is a no-brainer. Next, we're going to pop into our swim workout tomorrow morning, and then we'll break down everything I use, tools, equipment, gear, otherwise, when I'm in the pool. This is what me in the pool looks like. Drink it in. All right, guys, this is actually the newest addition to the home gym, if you want to call it that. It's just a rack here and a couple hooks over here, but this is the swimming area. I don't have too much space left, so I gotta make do with what I got on the walls. So, I'm gonna talk to you about what all my swim gear looks like and what I've been using in the pool for tools, drills, things of that nature. So, first things first, these are the Roka Neoprene SIM Pro 3s. And basically, these are floaty pants. This is similar to like half of what a wetsuit would be, is kind of the idea here. This is for people to acclimate to what a wetsuit could potentially help them out and bring to them. This gives you kind of that flotation, that help kind of slipping through the water without having to wear the full wetsuit. I actually have two pairs of floaty shorts. So those were Rokas. These are DeBoer, not sure exactly how you say that, but my homie Demi actually sent me a pair of these. She saw that I was getting into triathlon, sent me this, sent me a swim cap, sent me some goggles. She's fucking awesome. Shout out to Demi. These are more intense than the Rokas. They probably look it. They're a little less sexy, I would say, but they are a little bit more floaty. Swim cap, I have a tier swim cap, and I have a tier bag. Everybody at the pool has these. I didn't know this was a thing. My buddy gave me his, and I've just been rocking with it, but this is like the standard at the pool, so I'm glad I have it. I also have a tier kickboard that I use for drills. And then right now I am rocking with these Speedo goggles. Couldn't even tell you what model these are. I got them on Amazon. They're fine. I probably should get a better pair. I'll probably get some Rokas soon, because that seems to be kind of the highest standard for triathlon gear. Moving right along to some of the swim tools that I bought. All of this is just random shit that I got on Amazon. I have these fins. These are Kappas fins. Cheap. They work fine. I don't need anything crazy for fins. This is for drills. Two other things for drills here. This is the pull buoy. So I put this between my legs and it helps lift that back end up, kind of like what I was talking about with the floaty shorts. So this has actually been a really cool tool. I hated this at first. It's actually probably now my favorite tool. And then these bad boys are paddles. So when you're swimming with these, you're somewhat forced to have good technique, because if you don't have good technique, then you're not gonna be able to take your next stroke like you want to. So it forces you to glide through the water. You catch a ton of water on the way. So it's also strengthening rotator cuffs, shoulders, everything up here. And that's pretty much it for the swim gear, guys. Obviously, you need a pool if you wanna swim a lot. So I've been using the Brace YMCA, which is local to me. I do wanna also get back in the pool with Jonathan, because that session with him was huge. So that's everything that I'm really working with and taking into the pool with me right now. Let's switch gears. It is Friday afternoon. Tomorrow, Saturday morning, I have a big bike ride. So let's go back over to the bike, take it off the trainer, put the wheel on, and put all our gear and computers on for a big ride tomorrow morning. So first things first, I have a couple pieces of tech we're gonna put on the bike, but first we gotta take one thing off the bike, and that is these little handle controllers that I use for Zwift. I have two of them, which I mentioned earlier in the video. Take both those bad boys off and put them in the drawer for next week. So let's go through all these pieces of tech piece by piece. This is the Garmin computer. This is gonna have my navigation, so I can just look down. It's gonna tell me where I need to turn. It's gonna tell me my stats, my power, my wattage, my speed, my distance, all that fun stuff. So similar how as a runner, this is kind of HQ for you as far as data is concerned. This is HQ for the cyclist, all right? And this goes right here on the front, and it clips right in like that. Next, let's keep it in the front here. I'll show you guys how I shoot my 360 video. This is what I'm using to get those shots from the front of the bike when I'm riding. So this is the DJI 360 camera. Love this thing. And that's one of the reasons I got this frames and gear mount, because it holds my bike computer, but it also holds this. So check this out. So the front of this mount has a little magnetic attachment, and it is for the bottom of this guy, and I just leave that in there, and then I clip that in as needed. So that's actually how the camera is supposed to be. It literally is supposed to be out flat, and that's how I get that wide angle shot when I'm on the bike. And then we have one last piece of gear going on the front half here. It is my headlamp. This is more so to protect me than anything else. I wanna make sure all the drivers can see me, they know I'm coming. Charlotte is notoriously bad for shitty drivers when it comes to cyclists, so I'm taking all precautions to make sure that I am seen. So this guy also has a little mount attached to it, and this mount that I have in the front has one more attachment for this. Put it in there, twist it, and I have 3 pieces of gear all on that one mount there. I love this piece. All right, and we're moving over to the back side of the bike for our last piece of gear. This is the Garmin Vario. This is a radar detector that goes on the back here. It doubles as a little light reflector in the back. So again, safety is first and foremost so that cars can see me, but it's also got a little camera in there. This connects to my Garmin computer in the front, and it tells me if there's a car behind me, and if they are passing me on the side, it tells me how far they are when they're coming up and when I'm clear in the front. Very, very cool piece of technology. My guys at Garmin sent it out, hooked it up, and this is now one of my favorite pieces of tech. So again, another mount here on the back. Just plug that in, strap it down, and boom, we are ready to rock for our long ride tomorrow.
gas, you could call it a company.
The BOA system came undone. It's like the string went up in there and I was tightening it, but it wasn't tightening anything. So this thing broke.
Dude, that's
not ideal. That's what I get for hand-me-downs.
With me, dog, call my attorneys. Things are getting scary like Friday the 13th, but why should I worry? We keep it going on and on and on. Been through the fire like my name Teflon.
What's going on, guys? Happy Sunday. I got the Dawn dish soap, my weapon of choice. Just cleaned off the bike. I usually take Sundays as a reset day. So every single post-long ride, I will clean the bike. Not always immediately after, sometimes the day after. So that's what it's looking like today. Just cleaned her off. She's looking pristine, gorgeous, sitting back up on the wall. And Sundays are my reset day. Not only for the bike, but just for everything in general. In this space, Sunday is when I like to take about 30 minutes to an hour of dedicated time while the little guy is sleeping and just reset for the next week coming up. This week was all about the technology that I'm using, the equipment that I'm using, and a lot of that has to do with the maintenance because I expect my equipment to last me a long time. I want it to last me for years and years and years. And part of that is making sure you're keeping up with maintenance, keep everything pristine and looking good. So Sundays are when over on my bench there, I will make sure everything is charged. I will reset everything and make sure all the batteries are charged up, make sure everything's clean, vacuum in here, clean up the treadmill. We just got 11 more miles in this morning, so that thing is nasty with sweat right now. So I will take a spray bottle, spray the belt, spray the sides, clean up everything in here, clean up the sauna, refresh all the towels, all that jazz, just to make sure that this place stays functional, stays optimal, and stays to the standard that I expect of it. So on Sundays, we like to go over the weekly total of volume training for the entire week. As I said, we got 11 more miles in this morning. So that brings our total for the week, last 7 days, 5 runs, 29.5 miles, 3 rides, 81.2 miles, 3 workouts, 2 hours, 3 minutes, 3 swims, 7,200 yards, heart rate, resting average is 41, sleep score 85. That is the best average sleep score I've had for a week, maybe ever. And large part of that is due to that black box right there. The sauna has been incredible for my sleep and the recovery. We will do another week's episode on recovery in general, just to let you guys in on how I typically treat my recovery, what I do every single night to reset, what I shoot for as far as sleep, time in bed, things of that nature. We're gonna call that a wrap for this week. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for Gear Week. Hopefully you got a lot of insight, a lot of value out of this one. If you have questions about any of the gear that I mentioned, whether it's on the bike, whether it's the swimming stuff, or just any of the run stuff, let me know. I will get right back to you. As always, I appreciate you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.